Hello, everybody. This is C, and I just finished my first set of ADV Ubers Cup finals yesterday. So I figured I don't really want to record it live because I don't want to have to clear out my team builder to actually record it and other stuff. Don't want to show all my prep and everything. So I figured I'd just do this one in post recording. Um, I want to give this a shot, see if, well, what very little feedback I get. If people prefer me playing live or what. Um, I don't know, it's a change of pace, and it's not as stressful on me. I get to hear all my nerves mid game. So I suppose with that out of the way, let me talk about before the game. I decided to look at some replays, and I saw two teams in particular. Um, there was a Deoxys Speed lead team and a Ninjask lead team. So I wanted to make sure going into it that I was good against both of those because they were used both times in quarters and semis when I could actually see the replays. So with that in mind, I tried to pick teams that were good against those two specifically. Um, that probably made me worse against a lot of other good teams, but well, for the game one, I'm fishing. Um, I never feel good playing game ones in best of threes. Like, as much as I hate to say it, it's kind of just like my matchup fish game. I just throw out some random stuff. Um, I try crazy plays because I know I have more games and I know game two is when I play my best mons. So I kind of just matchup fish game one, like really hard. Um, and that's exactly what I was going for here when I load up what I did. I did some testing with Hasup and, or however you say his name. I'm assuming that's how you say it. This team looked pretty stupid, frankly, but it got a win or two, so I figured why not? Let's give it a shot. So let's begin. I'll try to give my thought process as we're going. So lead Mewtwo and a lead Kyogre. During scouting, I didn't see a single lead Kyogre, so I'm thinking, okay, this could just be normal rain. What am I expecting here? Um, I know I have to switch turn one, and I know I have a Latios in the back. He could try to make a move on it, pivot to his Lax turn one. If he's Hydro Pump, he's likely just firing off a free Hydro. Could be Ice Beaming into my Latios. But I have to respect the Kyogre turn one, and he just hits me with the Surf. That's a very Spatak invested Kyogre, I think, if Surf's doing 32. I don't remember the calc off the top of my head, but I believe that's a pretty offensive Kyogre. So here, he has to go to his Lax. His Lax or his Blissey. So I'm thinking, well, I could just click Thunder into it and then punish it with the meta I have in the back, but I would rather pivot in my Mewtwo on the Snorlax. Um, Here, well, it's just because I want a really free explosion. Turn 3, I'm scouting for a Protect or a Ghost type sack on the explosion, and I just click Thunder. I do, in fact, catch the Protect, and then turn 4, I can click Thunder again here, but then I have to play Protect 50-50 mind games, and I just decide to Raw Explode. This opens up my Latios really well as well. So I get that off, have my Lottie come in, doesn't even try to protect on me recovering on a protect, which I think is a good move, but more importantly, gets the Wobbuffet in for free. I get the paralysis, but Wobbs carried Lum, so it lums it off. There's really not much thinking required here. Thunder and hope you get a para, or Ice Beam and hope you get a freeze. Uh, I don't get the full para, so I end up dying to Mirror Coat. I punish with my CB Snorlax, which I think is actually kind of a misplay, but I don't really have many better options here. I lock into Body Slam, which ends up doing 19 to Fortress. This is why it's a misplay. It's incredibly enabling of the Steel type Spiker. I honestly thought about booming, but I just didn't have the nuts to do that. There's another version of this team with HP Fire meta, which is why I went into it originally, and then I realized, oh wait, this one's Earthquake. So I actually can't, I just can't touch this Fortress. Um, but also, there's nothing else on my team that can hurt this. My last two are Heracross and CB Deoxys Attack. So this just kind of, yeah, it feigns me being able to pressure this, and I get the Wob kill. Turn 11, we click, well, I know he has sub, and I really want to Earthquake the sub and then blow up, but I figure, head calcit, CB Heracross Megahorn probably kills Kyogre after click substitute. So I just decide raw booming's okay. Maybe if I catch a fortress switch in. I also calc to make sure that I lived surf, in case you wanted to try that. So now I get my Heracross in. It's going to be incredibly threatening, but as Heracross does, it misses Megahorn. Um, I don't actually know if it kills from this range. I'm going to assume it does a ton either way. Um, I don't know how much this miss ends up mattering, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know exactly how the game would have gone if this hits. Because if it kills, well then he only has Fortress to revenge me, and it has to blow up to kill me. Because the last two, um, I know. Well, we'll get to that. But this miss was very, very important. Um, just because of how far behind it put me. But I don't think that me hitting it means that I win. I think I could have played this better. Um, but I think that this basically seals my loss, this miss. Which, that's cool. Terracross, it's gonna happen. So then hits me with the Revenge Surf. And I'm like, okay. I checked my ability, and it's Guts. So instead of doing a ton to this 40, I still do a ton. It's still 30. Um, I'm not doing like 45 with both. Um, CBEQ does not kill. He elects to get the spike up, which is a good play. And now here, I know for a fact Lottie is coming in. I don't know this team, but I figure if there's a turn to make a play and a turn for me to get something going, it's right now. So I'm calling out the Lottie switch in on turn 16. You can see people talking in the chat. Trying to catch a Lottie switch in, trying to get something going. And sure enough, I catch the Latios. Okay, so the game's not over yet. Not yet. And then this right here is why the Megahorn miss mattered so much, right? Because I'm not too sure what this last is, but if it's DOA, then at worst, this whole thing for me is just a speed tie situation. If I don't know the last, but if it's DOA, then I'm actually kind of favored in this end game. But because I missed the Mega Horn, this Kyogre's at 94%. Even if it didn't die, it being that low meant I could kill it with Shadow Ball here, and he would be forced to revenge me with something else. If it is DOA, then Latios lives, like at this specific position, Latios would live a DOA extreme speed, and I just have to pray for a crit. He could just go DO and then attack into my lax. Whether that's through E speed, if he wants to risk that to a KOing, or risking a speed tie. Or if it's Jolly, then it's like just super over because I'm choice banded. Although I don't think Sky Solo knows that I'm choice banded at this point, so I don't know that he would be super willing to risk that. Although I guess that's his best out if I'm spell tag, right? Winning the tie. If I hit the Mega Horn. So Kyogre's fine. It only does 64. This damage makes me think that that Mega Horn wouldn't have killed. I could be wrong in that. I didn't run calcs, but it just seems like I don't know. I think it would have done like 85 or something, which is still a ton and still puts me in a better spot for this end game. But you know, it's not game winning, and I could have just played better. I die, and then CB Lax isn't going to get the para on Latios, and I'm going to lose game one, which is cool. Like I said, I just kind of throw away game one. All right, hold on. I need to take some water. Okay. Game two, I'm going in. I'm thinking, all right, I got my matchup fish game out of the way. It's time to load up what I actually prepared, what I feel really comfortable with. So let's get into game two. There we go. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Deoxys speed lead. So, turn one, I know that Hydro Pump is going to guaranteed kill this Deoxys speed. I'm already up 6-5. Granted, there's a spike on my side, but I'm up 6-5 super early. So, next thing that happens, Latios comes in here and I went in with a game plan based on a replay that I saw and some testing that I did. I figured that keeping Kyogre alive is going to be my way of winning this game. So I know I have to switch out here. I debated going Latios first on the Thunder to have Lax eat an Ice Beam, but I think this is Declaw Latios, so it wouldn't have really helped at all. I just go straight to my Lax. I actually took out a little bit of Spadef investment before this game, which ends up biting me a lot here because I'm taking 35. Usually I curse up here, but because of the spike, I can't. Now I'm Protect. I'm Curse, Protect, Body Slam, Earthquake, Lax. So you can Protect right away, but I want him to stay in so that I can actually Body Slam it. If I Protect, he might switch out, go to a Metagross on my Body Slam, and then I don't actually get any damage on the Lottie. And I don't want that. So I don't Protect so that I can get damage on the Lottie. No Paragon with the Body Slam, that's fine. Now it looks like just a clean Thunder KO. Now we Protect out of range. This allows me to get off another Body Slam. There's the para. We don't get full parried. The opposing Latios gets full parried. Para for para. Now with this in, okay. This is a pretty fortunate para, but this is a dead Latios for all intents and purposes. The only thing that it makes it do is have something answer my Lax instead of something else, which If this doesn't get paralyzed, I'm going straight to my Metagross and just starting to clean stuff. You're forced to Thunder here just to kill my Lax, but Sky Solo goes for the Calm Mind, which is, well, it's nice assurance, and you can fish for a full para. Um, +1 Mewtwo isn't going to get O-code by Kyogre Hydro Pump, whereas +0 is pretty likely to die to it. I think that's what my Kyogre Hydro Pump, my Kyogre Special Attack EVs are for. Do 36, so I think it's still in range of Hydro Pump, funnily enough. Now a Thunder comes out. So this is a somewhat questionable decision, but I agree with it for the most part. Now, what I don't like is the following turn. I come in with Deoxys Attack at Spell Tag to revenge the Mewtwo. Now, because of watching replays, I know that there's a Metagross in the back. I'm thinking to myself, I should just go Kyogre here. Because if I get it in on the Metagross, I am in such an overwhelmingly favorable position. But I end up going with the game plan of let me chip down this Metagross because it's the one thing holding it together against my Raylast. So I decided to Shadow Ball into the meta, and sure enough, it comes out. Now, this is actually really good for me because I'm going with the game plan of chip down this Metagross. And open it up. This also gives free entry for my Kyogre if I die, meaning that sacking this is actually pretty good, considering that with the Lottie down, Kyogre answers are pretty limited. So I decide to go for Thunder. It does a nice 47. My Ray is looking really good here. Now we send in the big bad boy. And I want to say this is the turn. Yeah, I believe I click Thunder here, and I catch the Kyogre switch in, yeah. I'm thinking what could possibly switch in to my Kyogre. Well, one, I don't want to miss Hydro Pump. Two, other Kyogre. Especially with two Thunder users on this team. Rain's not very far out of possibility. I happen to catch the Kyogre on the switch in. His also has Thunder, does a massive 63%, but Kyogre down. So at this point, I'm in a really, really good spot. I have to make some misplays to lose here. So I decided to give up my Ogre because, well, its goal in the game going in was pressure the meta and get a kill or two out of it. And it got the Ogre down, and the Metagross is really chipped, which is perfect for two of my last three. In comes Metagross, which is going to apply massive pressure to this opposing Mewtwo. Thunder, I don't think 2 KOs with how much special bulk I have. He decides to go into Metagross, and I get a good 2 KO. And because this is a haste up team, this is brave meta, so I know that I outspeed. I also have a little bit of speed investment on mine. We get the Mash Land. I don't Earthquake because I know there's a Ray in the back, because I know this team, and I don't want to let it in for free. Then I go to Ray on the opposing Ray because it covers the two moves that that Ray runs to hit Metagross, Earthquake and like Fire Blast or Overheat. And I don't think going hard Mewtwo. This is also a roll to kill my meta. So it's kind of a desperation play. And I ran some calcs before I'd made this play. Mewtwo is like, I think at the 75% chance for me to 2 a KO at this percent with Choice Banded Extreme Speed, like factoring in the leftovers. 75%, that's 75% after the first one. It's very, very favorable odds for me, basically, to just win the game right here. Mewtwo comes in, I get a really low roll on the first extreme speed. I go, okay. And then I get another really low roll on the extreme speed, which, I mean, does it really matter? No, but I could have had a win con that avoided getting Thunder paralyzed. I don't get it. Oh well, whatever. With an unrevealed last, Sky Solo doesn't know what to lock in with Ray last here. Thundered, yeah, it doesn't even 2 a KO. I just Pursuit to prevent any switching shenanigans on like a mash miss, getting this back up. Mewtwo goes down, Ray comes in, and I, I don't want to say I thought about switching here, because it's a terrible play and a choke, but I kind of did. But there's no reason to. He locks Earthquake, which kills my Metagross, but my last is a Latios, and I just fire off an Ice Beam and finish off the game. So that's game 2. Series is tied 1-1. Game 3 for all the marbles. Going in, I knew that the team Sky Solo had this game was going to be a possibility. So I decided, well, I can either catch a BP thing or I can catch BP stuff, or I can catch lead Wobbuffet with my lead Kyogre, which forces my opponent to play a bunch of mind games. So going in, lead Wobbuffet. And I know from replays that this is Quick Claw. So this can be really, really spooky. There's a few things that can happen here. Because it's not Lumberry, I can't just paralyze it, hope for some paralysis shenanigans. So I decide my turn 1 is Thunder into Hydro Pump should kill. I didn't actually run any calcs, I just did some head calcs. Thunder into Hydro Pump should kill. And Thunder will catch any Kyogre switch in, either with a full para or hitting a full para on the Lotties, or hitting opposing Kyogre. I didn't actually remember what was on the lead Wobbuffet team going in. I just knew that I saw lead Wobbuffet quick call a Destiny Ball into Latios. I'm like, yep, I do not want that to happen to me. So I decide to Thunder turn 1, and Latios comes out. I hit it with the Thunder. I get the full para. Now, the events following this full para are, I don't know, controversial. So, as the Kyogre user, this is getting the full para here is absolutely massive. It puts me in an incredibly favorable position where I can either fish for a full para or fish for a crit Ice Beam. I can keep doing it, and you either lose your Latios, have like a half health Latios, or have a paralyzed Latios. It's a really, really favorable exchange for me. And since I have the para, I've started the cycle. I fire off an Ice Beam because I need to start crit fishing, and I just so happen to get it immediately. And this looks like me getting really lucky, but this is realistically the end result to 99% of these exchanges. either lose your Latios on clicking Thunder, clicking um, clicking a move and getting full paralyzed, or I Ice Beam crit you. I just so happen to get it on turn 2, which saves me a lot of Ice Beam PP and a lot of time. If you're curious how this works, Latios runs Refresh, and Ice Beam is really good odds for me to 2-hit KO. So I click Ice Beam, and then they have to recover to not lose their Latios to another Ice Beam. So then I just click T-Wave on that, force them to click Refresh again. I just click Ice Beam as they click Paralyzed Refresh, and I either get an Ice Beam crit or they get paralyzed as they click Refresh. So you're either switching out a half health Latios, which can't reliably check Kyogre all too well, or you're switching out a paralyzed Latios, or you're letting it die entirely. I happen to get the crit immediately. Now, as you can see here, this is a Quick Claw Wobbuffet. I'm assuming most people watching this are Gen 3 players, but if you're not, Quick Claw text does not show up at all in Gen 3. So there's the Encore, encoring me into Ice Beam. For the record, I clicked Hydro Pump this turn. Quick Claw is 20%. I was kind of like, really? This is dumb. Hydro Pump, by the way, 2-hit KOs. And knowing the team, there's not really great Hydro Pump answers, so this Quick Claw Encore kinda sucks, but well, I get a little bit lucky. Ice Beam, get the freeze. This is where I start to feel bad because the Lottie crit, that's just like odds for me to happen eventually. This, you Quick Claw Encored me into Ice Beam. It's kind of a gray area. Like, you hacked me to make me hacks you. I don't know. I feel bad because this isn't a clean game per se, but it's Pokemon really. Gets the thaw really fast, which is really fortunate and good, so that I don't rob any harder. And I die to the Mirror Coat. I revenge with my Latios. Deoxys attack comes in, and I really, really wanted to Ice Beam on turn 8 because DOA switch-ins are going to get hit really hard by Groudon. And with rain down, getting sun up is really important for Sky Solo so that I can't thunder like a Metagross with my Latios. So I really wanted to Ice Beam this turn and call out a Groudon switch in. I didn't know there was a Groudon, but it was just a gut feeling like you should Ice Beam here. I didn't. Kind of risky if I do, frankly. But I end up sending in my Snorlax on the DOA to catch a Shadow Ball. Fortress comes in as I click B-Slam. Really, I'm just scouting the Groudon set here, and I don't want to let DOA in for free. Most importantly. So now, I do what I usually do. I curse up on Fortress as I click Spikes, and then we protect the explosion. And at this point, I'm just way too far ahead. So a few things here. Metagross comes out. Because I'm the set that I am, Curse, EQ, Protect. Meteor Mash Miss, that's unfortunate. I get the Earthquake here. Now it's a boom 50-50. But it's not actually a 50-50 for me. Because I know what the last two are on his team, I can just click Earthquake. If I sponge the explosion, whatever. Or click Protect. If I sponge the explosion, then it's whatever. Realistically, I think Earthquake might actually be a better play. instead of me going for protect on turn 13. But I do, he mashes into my protect, and I figure, what the heck? Let's get a double protect, or at least try, and we end up getting it. Groudon comes in, it reveals to be choice banded from that damage and the itemless. And I just figure I can sack this. He makes a desperation DOA switch, trying to catch my Lottie switch in, get something going, doesn't get it, as I just need to sack to get my Latios in for free. And he forfeits. Considering I still had 3 unrevealed Pokemon, I don't know, I think this game was fine. It looks really hacksy on the surface. But a lot of the hacks, like the Quick Claw stuff, was just we both got hacks there. He got a Quick Claw Encore. I got 2 Ice Beams into a freeze. That's just kind of odds. Like that stuff's just gonna happen. The Thunder Para allowed me to crit fish the Lottie, so I got really lucky on that Thunder Para. Double Protect, it's 50%, and it's my best play to go for. Why not go for it? Because free entry to any of my last Mons is just incredible. The Mash Miss doesn't really matter that much, just because I'm already so far ahead in this game. I apologize just because at the time I felt it was really hacksy, but rewatching the replay, it was just like I was just ahead, and I got some luck that was not actually that lucky. The crit obviously matters, but the crit is almost inevitable. Like the Lottie dying is just going to happen. The freeze on Wobbuffet never happens if he doesn't Quick Claw me into Encore, or Quick Claw Encore me into it, and I just 2-hit KO it with Hydro Pump. And as you can see, at that point in the game, best Hydro Pump switch in is Groudon. So it's kind of, I don't know, it kind of all works out for me in the end. The one thing I actually have to be wary of in that Latios cycling sequence is a Groudon into Wobbuffet switch in. On me clicking T-Wave, like pivoting Groudon on the turn that I click T-Wave, and then going Wobbuffet as I click Ice Beam. I think I would have been heads up enough to call that, but I can't say. I know that's something that's been done to me before. I don't know exactly what I would punish that with, is part of the problem. Like, I know that's a line that can happen, but I don't know how I would combat it. And during the game, I don't know that I would be ready to combat that specific line of play. So in that sense, the crit does end up mattering because he never gets that chance to outplay my Kyogre and make that Wobbuffet line, which, hey, that's a fair point. And if I don't get the freeze, then massive threat Kyogre goes down a lot earlier. Still keep your health on Wobbuffet, and maybe you can trap the Lax later. But I also just kill the Wobbuffet if I hit the Hydro Pump and don't get Quick Clawed. So, I don't know. This looks really bad because it's hacksy, and I'm trying to say it's not. But I think you get the gist. This was a lot of, I don't know, it was a lot of just natural stuff. I don't feel too bad about this one. A win is a win, most importantly for me. Really happy about this one because, well, game 3, as you can see, even though I got a little bit fortunate, I still have a lot of my Mons remaining, which I think is just, well, Kyogre does a lot. Once Lottie goes down, this team's really weak to Kyogre. It's really reliant on Wobbuffet removing Kyogre. Um, and if it doesn't do that, which it did, but at that point, uh, my own Lottie also just ravages this team. With Sun Up, it becomes a lot harder for me to do so because I have to hit Thunders against the Steels to actually break them. But like special attackers as a whole really are tough on this team. I happen to load a physical offense into this. If I loaded up like my CB Ho-Oh team, this would also have a great matchup because Sacred Fire with Lob and Latios down is a fantastic click into this team. CB Groudon hates burns. It hits Fortress and kills it. It hits Metagross really hard in Sun. That might be a kill even. And Deoxys dies to it. So this was just like a really good matchup from me. A really good matchup for me. And I happened to get pretty fortunate. So it's kind of, I got fortunate in team matchup and in the actual game, and it ended up with this, um, which not much you can do. It's Pokemon, right? I can't control me critting. I can't control me freezing. It just happens sometimes. Good games, and I'm looking forward to my second set, and I hope you enjoyed watching. See you later.